Alrighty, so we're making some good progress here. So in this video, we're actually going to cover step 2 of creating the instructor detail class. Alright, so let's go ahead and move in. So the first thing we want to do is create this new package called entity to hold our entity class. Let's move here and let's go ahead and create a new package. And the name of the package is entity. And so let's go ahead and create our instructor detail class. So select your entity package and then simply do a right click and say new class. And the name of this class is InstructorDetail. All right, excellent. So here's our instructor detail class. Let me just go ahead and write some notes to myself, just so I know what I need to do in this given class. So I'm going to need to annotate the class as an entity and map it to a database table. I'll need to define the fields, then annotate those fields with database column names. I'll also need to create the constructors, generate getters and setters, and finally I want to generate a toString method just to help me out with printing or displaying this instructor detail object. And that's my basic game plan here for this class. Alrighty, so let's start with the first step here of annotating the class as an entity. So up top, I'll give @entity, and also I'll say @table name instructor_detail. The @table basically maps this to a specific table in our database. All right, so that's our annotation part. Now let's go ahead and define the fields for this given class. So I'm just going to stretch out here at the bottom, give myself some room to work with. So for this instructor detail class, we're going to have an ID, and then we'll also have an entry here for the instructor's YouTube channel, and also an entry for the instructor's hobby. Now that we have those fields created, let's go ahead and annotate those fields with the database column names. So here for the first one, it's our ID, so it's our primary key, so we use @ID. And then for generated value, we say strategy equals identity. That'll help us with our auto increments on this table. And then for the column, we'll give the column name of ID. And we've seen all this stuff before in some of our previous videos. And then for the YouTube channel, we simply say @column, and we have name equals, and then the actual database column name, YouTube_channel. And then a similar process here for hobby, name equals hobby. Again, these are the actual column names in the database, and we're mapping those to the fields here in this class. So that takes care of the first 3 items here on our to-do list. So the remaining task we have is creating a constructor, generating getters and setters, and the toString. So let's go ahead and work with our constructors here. So the first thing I'll do here is I'll just create a no-arg constructor. And what I'll do is I'll also create a constructor that accepts arguments. So I'll actually make use of this feature here in the IDE to generate the constructor based on fields. And this will pop up. Basically for this constructor, I want to pass in the channel and the hobby. So I'll deselect the ID. So right now just have channel and hobby selected. And you should get a constructor similar to this. Now we'll go through and actually generate the getters and setters and also that toString method here. And here we'll just do a select all. And then we'll click on OK. So we have those getters and setters that were generated. And then here, make sure all your fields are selected for ID, channel, and hobby. And then go ahead and hit the OK button. All right, great. So there we go. So we have this toString method created. So this looks good. I think we're in pretty good shape. There's our table there on the right-hand side, and we wrote the code to annotate the class, to find the fields, and then map those fields to the database columns. So looks pretty good. I think we can go ahead and check the box for this instructor detail. We're good to go for right now. So I'll see you in the next video.